Hello, friends. It's your favorite neighborhood nerd, Simone. I'm going to share my notebooks, planners, and journals for 2025 with you today. I have three categories. Three categories that I have put them into, and I want to talk about each one of them. What I'm trying to do is show you what I'm using, what I'm using it with, and how I'm hoping to be using it. Sometimes things don't work out the way that we plan to do. I've already found some things that I haven't used yet, and it's already February 8th, so maybe they won't be used at all in 2025, and that's okay. So I have planners, notebooks, and journals. I'm going to talk about my planner first, then my notebooks, and then my journals. And I will show them to you. That's not all of them. One is over here, one is over there. They will come up when I need to talk about them, but I don't have space here, so let's just put this to the side. This is my planner for 2025. It is a Hobonichi weeks. This is I've already forgotten which one it is. It was one of the more popular ones. Kusano Masamune is the artist in it, of it, and it's just, I love the magical setting of this image, and the colors are just awesome. I am using this Hobonichi weeks as my main planner for 2025. Don't have any other books to plan in right now because it seems like this is all I can manage. I am putting appointments and day-specific tasks on the weekly horizontal spread. I am putting other ideas, quotes, things that I want to not forget that come to my mind during this week over on this grid page. I started using the monthly as a YouTube schedule video thing, but also not. It's there for me if I need it. I do not use the monthlies for appointment or anything. The overview that I need is in digital format. I'm using a shared calendar with my family. This is where all my appointments go. I take my phone everywhere. I use my phone to make appointments, so there is no need for me to duplicate that information, specifically in this small grid here, because my handwriting is way too big to squeeze this in to give me any information, so I'm just not using it. I have started to decorate like really minimally, as you can see. But that is definitely something that makes me want to use my planner more. Last week I did not use it at all. This week I'm trying to get back in. This was in a recent order from Wonderland 222, the sticker, and I really love it. Plan outside the lines. So I'm trying to keep that in mind when I'm looking at it here. In the back, I have some collections like Happy Mail that I want to send out, YouTube videos that I have ideas for, creative projects. I haven't filled this in yet. TBR, I haven't filled this in. Inky projects. That's basically it. And then I started a master to-do list in the back where I just list down tasks that I haven't gotten to during the week that I need to tackle at some point that I shouldn't forget. I'm using this Pilot Vanishing Point in dark blue, deep blue. I don't really know what it's called. I was gifted a Pilot Vanishing Point nib unit, the 18 karat extra fine at the San Francisco this last year. I had it tuned and it is my go-to pen. I am using Diatramentis Document Black ink in here. Hold. This is not the right notebook. And even though I didn't use it, wow, this is the show effect. I did not use it at all last week. When I started using it this last week, it wrote right out of the box. The fact this hard start is unheard of. I'm really happy with how reliable this pen is for me. Maybe the ink is empty. It might evaporate. Yeah, there's not a lot of black ink left in here, so I need to refill this. It might evaporate. I do not know because black ink stays black when it evaporates. So I have no issues with this pen and ink combination at all. And it is there for me when I need it to write with it. Because it's an extra fine, I can write with this in the small and tiny grid of the Hobonichi weeks, which I usually have problems with because it's so tiny. But when the pen is tiny and the nib is tiny, I am able to adjust my handwriting just fine. So this is working really, really well for me. I purchased a Ad Liebe cover and Liebe cover from the stationery selection in the fall. And I'm not sure that this is my favorite cover ever. I have adjusted to it okay. But this clip thing here, the way it closes is just odd to me. And as you can see, I am not babying it at all. I am just throwing it into my purse whenever I need to. And I am taking it with me to take notes and stuff when I'm out and about. This is my one-stop shop. I have struggled with planning and to-dos and all that stuff for the past year. Life circumstances is the reason for that. The book did not work. I just was so busy that sometimes I didn't take the time to sit down and, process, think clearly, make a list, point out what's important and what's not important. And this size and format is really easy to take everywhere. It is not overwhelming for me. I can do this, and I'm trying to really make sure that I at least once a week take the time to just focus on the important things for the week. So this is that thing. It's working great, and I'm not as appalled. That's not the right word for this, but it works better now, and I think I'm just going to keep this setup for the whole year. Notebooks. I have two. This has been my YouTube notebook for several years. And then this one is a new addition. This is a B6 Stalogy that I won in a giveaway several years ago from HON Leatherworks, I believe was one of their account names. I actually have forgotten the other. This is where the notebook is from as well. I won this whole set. I love this cover. I love this notebook. I have put down my YouTube notes since years ago. I don't even know if there's a year 2022 lineup. So Since 2022, I have been using this as a YouTube notebook. Sometimes I just write an outline. Sometimes I write huge paragraphs in here. I'm always using my fountain pens. This paper has not let me down yet. I've had a really bad experience with an A6 Stalogy, but also I was using Noodler's inks. So I'm not sure what was Noodler's, what was the paper. This works really well. It might not show all of the ink properties extremely well, but it works for the purposes that I have for this notebook. And so I am just going to keep using this. I love the size of the B6, and I have another B6 notebook from Wonderland 222 lined up to use once this is done. This is not year specific. That's why it's called a notebook and not a planner. And I'm also not really planning, with dates and stuff. This is just additional information that I need to work. And this is here my outline for this video. So that's why this wasn't in the stack in the beginning. Is there anything else I want to say? So I said what notebook this is, what I'm using it for, where it's in, the cover, and then the pens that I'm using is just the pens that I have currently inked. This is supposed to be my learning notebook. This is a standard size traveler's notebook in the Kyoto edition. It's dark blue. I have this Starbucks Reserve Roastery insert in here. And as you can see, I'm not learning anything right now. I meant or thought I would take notes on some dog training videos, some things that I watch on YouTube that I learn, or some nonfiction books that I want to take notes on and, put some information down. I haven't really taken the time to do that. And I can tell you exactly why I don't really take the time to do that. I know that it's here if I need it. And so far, I have preferred to do other things. Pens that I would be using in here, just as with this YouTube notebook, is all the inks, all the pens that I have inked at the moment. So next, my journals. So my main journal, the thing that I am most excited about, is in this Yuyake pouch. I just received this from the Stationery Selection. It is one of the most well-made pouches I have encountered, and I have already left my mark on this. I don't know the colorway, to be honest, but I am keeping some things, ephemera, that I would like to stick into my journal in this pouch, as well as my journal. If you have pets, I would not recommend this because it has cat hair, dog hair all over. It does not fit the Hobonichi cover, so you can only put in a book that is not inside a different cover, or you can use it for something else. I don't know if a small iPad would fit in here. Let me check. Well, this, I don't even know if they still make this. Ish. Not really. So no. Won't fit. This is the Take a Note A5 regular planner. I felt constricted in my traveler's notebook standard size in 2024, which is, I used the Sterling ink inserts. I felt like I was extremely constricted. I couldn't use all the ephemera that I had, and so I thought I wanted so sorry. I wanted to move to a bigger size. And so instead of moving into a Hobonichi cousin, which is 1 day per page, I thought, I would love to use 2 pages per week. That seems very doable. The paper that is in here is 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. I don't know if this is the original 68 GSM Tomoe River paper or if this is Sanzen. The last time that I checked, and I admit I did not check this, like I did not do a deep dive into this, I couldn't figure it out. It wasn't like openly advertised anywhere. In the front, I am keeping a Happy Mail tracker here. When I send out mail, when I receive mail. I want to put all of the information that I told you in here onto this monthly spread. And then I am using 2 pages per week. And you can clearly see that I am struggling with the amount of space that I have. Going from a standard size 1 spread per week to an A5 2 spreads per week is a bigger jump than I had thought. It's tougher, or it's harder for me to wrap my head around that I can go much bigger. But I'm still working hard on it. I'm trying to add more things in here like these just to make them just to make use of the space and to keep up. This, even though I am very much enjoying, I'm really enjoying this a lot. I'm also really struggling a lot with this, and I hope it's getting better. The first struggle that I have is the paper. So I used my fountain pen on here, and it bled through, like so dramatically bad that I stuck some other paper on top of it. Because I hadn't worked on this page yet, which was a good thing because this way I was able to cover it up. But what if I had put this down here and there was already something on there? It makes me very hesitant. I'm trying to only use my black journaling pen. I really love this thing. I love writing with this in here. I'm also using my other, this is basically my journaling pouch here. So these are the things that I use in here. Pencil, eraser, 2 of these gray koi brush coloring pens. I did buy the whole set because I think this is what I'm going to use moving forward. Next to watercolor for 2025, I'm using a water brush, my watercolor set, and then these 2 pens. This one is, as I said, my reverse architect nib with De Atramentis Document Black, and this is a Sailor Pro Gear with an extra fine nib. And I have this currently inked with a gray ink, and I think I'm going to do that moving forward because I really love the gray as well. So trying to use up more space. I'm trying to, there's bleed through right here. So I'm unfortunately not using my fountain pens, or I'm going to do this on a separate piece of paper and then gluing it in. So that's where I'm at with this right now. That's the first struggle, the paper. The second struggle is that 2 A5 spreads per week is a commitment, and I'm struggling to fill them up. As you can see, I've gotten better. So the first few weeks, wow, man, January came and I was like, what the heck? How am I going to do this? How am I going to be able to do this? I think my biggest problem was that I wanted to do all of those, that I wanted to fill the page to the brim. And I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to embrace white space. I'm trying to add bigger ephemera. Like, yes, this is nice, but I need to leave more space. I need to stick in bigger pieces. Same with this one. And now that I started here, there is more white space. I just add bigger stuff. I am adding this, and then I'm leaving this blank, even though maybe this could use something. Maybe if I find a purple washi tape that I could put here, then I'm adding it in. But I'm not, I'm trying to go big. Same with this one. Same here. Like, yeah. So that is my journal. That's what I'm using in my journal. I am keeping it in the clear cover that came in that came with the Techo note. I think I had to purchase it separately, but it's the specific clear cover that goes with this. And then this is the minimum stuff that I'm using here. I do have more stuff with this, so if you're interested in how my journaling stuff looks like, what I'm using, how I set up my ephemera stuff and my stickers and all that, leave a comment down below and I can film a separate, more extensive creative journaling setup video. But yeah, then maybe that's also the reason why I'm struggling with this. Because I had such a hard start in 2025, now I'm thinking, that I decided I would start up the daily journaling practice again. I pulled out this 2024 HON that I purchased without a plan then. And I thought, oh, well, I will think of something. And it is the perfect thing because I love Sanzen paper, the original one that was in 2024 planners. And so I am making myself sit down and journal every single day in 2025. I think the only time, I started on the 6th, and the only time that I did not journal was on January 28th and January 29th. And then I'm keeping up. I'm keeping up with it. And it is so good to unload. I thought I was going to try morning pages, but I actually need to unload after the day is over. And so that's what I'm using it for. I'm sitting down at the end of the day to unload what is in my brain, what is bothering me into here. And so sometimes this is all I have time for, and this suffers. When I decided to go with this, I did not know that I was going to use this. So, however, at this point in time, this is more important to me than having a finished amazing creative journal. Yes, this is part of how I feel good and how part of my self-care to just be creative and let myself loose and decorate and do all those things. But this is the more important part of self-care, to unload at the end of the day. So it is what it is, and I will see how this year is going to go. Currently, I'm not planning on giving up on either one of them, but the year has 365 days, so we will never know if this is going to be what I'm in the end of 2025. I ummed and awed about my reading journal for 2025, and I would have never in a lifetime thought that I was going to go in here, but I did. The idea was to track when I'm reading what. And this was the first monthly, and it looks awful. And I think I have come to the conclusion that I'm just going to do these lines and put the title. Did not start and end it. I don't need to know. This is perfect. And then what I also want to do is a total, like this is how many books I read this month, this is what I DNF'd, this is what I stopped. And so then this is what February looks like. I need to update this. And I think I don't want to use something else other than gray, black, or the what's that? The Uni Jetstream. So this is something that I struggle with. I want to write down all the books that I'm interested in when I'm listening to a currently reading podcast, when I'm listening to any type of book podcast. I want to write down the books that I'm interested in. However, I sometimes don't have the bandwidth and the time to do this. So I'm not sure if this is going to continue or not. I'm also writing down the book, the author, the title, the times that I read it, which I have here so I can reference this calendar. Green is audiobook, blue is actual book. And I need to update. I am not adding photos of the title. I'm not adding any more decoration to this because what I want to have at the end of the day is a quick snippet of how I liked the book. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. I'm totally okay with only writing. What did I write here? I think this was super short as well. Similar. Not sure why this sat on my nightstand for years. It is an extremely short read, not really a story, more a collection of hope. Reminded me very much of Brandy Kincaid and her hope. This will be picked up often. I want to give myself permission to write, I loved this, and I'm totally be okay with it, and I want to give myself permission to write 2 pages and a big discussion of the book. However much space I need, I have it. And so that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if this is all that I am using in 2025 or if this is going beyond 2025. I will see. I'm totally fine if I'm going to continue using this in 2026. If it's working for me, yeah. So, what I'm using in here is these 3 pens, as I said, the Uni Jetstream, the TWSBI Eco with the reverse architect, and the Sailor Procure with an extra fine nib. I am using 2 mild liners to indicate whether it's a physical book or an audiobook. I don't have a color for Kindle yet because I haven't read a Kindle book since the beginning of the year. And I think that's all. The paper in here is Kokuyo Campus paper, which works really well with most type of media. So if I wanted to go in here with all of my fountain pens, I could. There's 2 more journals that I have. So this is my quotes journal. This is a brown traveler's notebook. I have some stuff in here that I'm actually not really using. I'm almost done with adding quotes. And I just, wherever I find those, I will put them in here. I will put ephemera in here as well. Stuff like this from the Brandy Kincaid Extravagant Hope mailer. Sometimes this is an excerpt from a book. Stuff that I find goes in here. Be brave and curious, not fearful and suspicious. It's from Susie Eddie Izzard. Yes, whatever I find goes in here. And I have 1, 2 pages left, and then I'm going to move into this one. This is a homemade junkie journal. And then I also have this insert in here. This is a clear thingy from Traveler's Company, from the Starbucks Reserve, I believe. And what I do is I put these cards that I receive in the Extravagant Hope mailers from Brandy Kincaid. And these might stay in here. These might come out and be glued into my regular journal at some point. Not sure, but for now they live right there. Pens I'm using in here, mostly because of the paper, is again, the finer nibs, the TWSBI Eco or the Sailor Progress. This one I actually used my Pilot Parallel for this, and just wrote on the edge right here, so on the corner right there. If I'm correct, all of these papers are fountain pen friendly, so I might dive in with more colorful pens when I'm moving over here. But this one wasn't made with the purpose of using fountain pens in it, and so I've been quite hesitant and careful with what pens I use in here. This is really so lovely to have. I enjoy using this passport size for that purpose. And then the last journal that I'm using, and I hope I did not put this into wet ink, is my ink journal. And I am really hesitant to call it an ink journal, because basically what it is a bullet journal that pertains to fountain pens and inks. I am documenting my year in fountain pens. I am testing new pens and inks. I'm planning 28 inks, 28 pens, documenting my currently inked pens. I'm documenting more currently inked. I'm swatching new inks that I buy. I am making these monthly dividers with ink art. I'm currently doing 28 inks, 28 days, so I'm inking a pen every day, and I'm documenting that here. Wow, not good. What else did I do? I started the book off with how I classify my pens, how many pens I currently own, my January tracker. Then I need to update my February stuff. There is my January update. The only thing that I'm still tracking is my total number of pens and my total number of ink bottles. And that's how I'm going to use this book. What else? The pens that I'm using in here is all the fountain pens that I have, but I'm also, if I need to jot something down, like on the January tracker page here, I use whatever pen is at hand that I can easily jot down all the things that need to be written down and logged here. And that is basically all that I have for 2025. I do have a lot of ink journals and notebooks. You might have seen this one. This is for my fountain, my inks. I swatch inks in other books. Those are not necessarily year specific, and they're more for enjoyment, not like the YouTube or the Stylogy one. The YouTube one, this is more to help me plan. So maybe it is a planner of some sort, or the learning. This is less hobby. Well, YouTube is a hobby too. I don't know. I have a lot of fountain pen and ink notebooks that are not year specific, not like this ink journal, for instance. And that's why I'm not bringing them here, because they're not 2025 specific. Now, I forgot to tell you what notebook and what cover this is. This is the blank Hobonichi notebook that I purchased in the 2025 release, and I'm very surprised on how the paper is holding up, because I know that there's quite a few people who have had really bad experiences with their Hobonichi paper. This one, knock on wood, has been doing quite well. Yeah, so that's the notebook. The cover is the Hobonichi cover that I also purchased during that release from Yumi Kitagishi, and I removed the pen loops here because I just don't enjoy using them, and I get much more use out of my covers without loops. I have a tutorial that went a little array right here on how I do this. Not a tutorial, a watch along on how I remove the pen loops on those covers. If you're interested, if that's something that you want to approach, then maybe it's quite good to check out how other people do it, to know that this is not the way that you want to do it. There were some lovely comments in the comment section too that recommended some glue that you could use. So yeah, do check that out. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a request for the creative journal stuff or all of the inky notebooks, leave them down in the comments below and I will make time to film those in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Until then, bye.